How to convert your passion into a career. Yeah, again, these are like the tough questions.
Dancing with my
Hey guys, welcome to the studio. Today I'm, to be honest, extremely tired, even way more tired than usually. As you know, the place is still under construction, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to make music. So yesterday evening, after spending the entire day shopping for a kitchen for this place, I decided to come here and work through the entire night, didn't sleep. So I think today we would just stick to a simple Q&A, you asking me questions on Instagram stories, and then just back home sleeping. First one, are you coming to ADE this year? Yes, 100%, at least 2 days, probably during the week because it's more business than the party weekend. And I think the entire team will even join me. The next one is a tough one. When to know to give up on music as a career. That's a tough choice. It's probably as tough as starting doing it or trying to do it as a career. I would recommend you not to fully stop making music. Just maybe get a job, like maybe just half of the day and the rest of the time make music, or maybe just make music in your free time. It should be actually enough to learn and advance enough to get to the point where you can make it full time. So just don't give up. Just try to find a place in your life for making music if you're really so into it and so in love with making music. Hey John, if we would rent out your studio, would you also be there, give some tips and stuff like that? Yes, of course. I'm anyways here 12 hours a day. And if you rent out the place, sure, we can hang out a little, play maybe FIFA upstairs, and tips and tricks here and there. No problem. By the way, if you're interested to rent it out, just check out the website down below in the description and write us an email. It's still not fully done. Give us like 2 or 3 more weeks and then this place will be available for you. Are you hyped for the release of The Sound of Kashmir Volume 3? No, absolutely not. I will never ever use any of these sample library things. Especially those that are so popular, you can't use them anymore because everyone is using them in their songs and it just sounds then like everyone else's song. So no, definitely no. Which style do you sign to your label AXSENS? Mostly vocal influenced electronic music. I think that's like the most general how I can put it. What do you think about Vincent as a producer? That is like one part of the Noise Geeks, and can you imagine to collaborate with him for a track? We're talking about it and thinking about it already for a very long time. It just doesn't happen because we don't have the time. I'm extremely busy, they were extremely busy, so maybe one day, I don't know. It's just a time thing. When are you going to make a master class? I did one last year at the dance fair, maybe this year at ADE, or then again at the dance fair. How much is the renovation for the studio? I think he's asking for money, because time-wise I'd say like 2.5 months, which is extremely fast actually. And money, I don't really actually know. Like, building a corner absorber isn't that expensive, it's more the time you have to put into it. So I don't know, without the kitchen maybe 3,000, 4,000, with the server, router, the windows to the vocal booth, maybe 5. I really don't know. I also actually don't want to know. I just know what's on my bank account, and even that I actually don't want to know. What did you do at IKEA Cast yesterday? I saw you. Yeah, just kitchen shopping. Very interesting. How to convert your passion into a career. Yeah, again, these are like the tough questions because they're so individual. It so depends on you, your surrounding, your family, your job, the country you live in. But like the #1 tip would be to put as much time as you can spare into that career and be smart about the time you spend. Like, if you want to be a full-time DJ and producer and you just spend 99% of your free time learning how to DJ, you won't probably get, for you also need to produce, and then also you need to have a lot of time for the business stuff once you've learned how to make actually good music, approaching the label, sending out demos. It's really, again, this entire artist package. You have to deliver that, otherwise you will just fail, because other people deliver exactly that, and that's what people are looking for. Like your socials, good music, enough releases, steady releases, good collaborations, just being present so that people actually know what you're doing. So all of that. Do all of that. What is the best way to learn how to perform electronic live music? That's an interesting topic. 4 years ago I played once a live set in a club. It took me 2 weeks to prepare. I would say it's still not really the time to go full live. The computers aren't fast enough to recreate an entire track live on stage without it really failing. The equipment also not really, and there is no standard way, like using the Pioneer thingy, this button meshing, I don't know what it's called, the sampler. It's not really live, so if you really want to do the live route, just wait a little, and it's something you have to figure out yourself. Which instruments do you need, which computer, what kind of software, which kind of controller. It's so individual. I don't know a single person that is playing live with the exactly same set as someone else. You just have to go with it and try and find your own style. And I would still say that the crowd doesn't appreciate it, so I wouldn't even mind at this stage. Did you find the person who stole the song and released it on your label? Yes, we found the person. We know who it is. We reached out to him with 2 emails. We got an email back from him, and his email was just 1 sentence. It was like, "What do you want from me? The track isn't out there on the stores anymore." And that was it. He thinks just because it's not available anymore that there is no harm, no damage, but we will make sure to explain him what he did, because stealing someone else's song, releasing it, and then thinking, I mean, that's like robbing a bank and a week later showing up there and giving the money back. I mean, yes, the money's back, but you still robbed the fucking bank and destroyed things while robbing the bank. So yeah, there will be consequences. So the next one is a question I get a lot. Someone watched a video of Junkie XL, that's a famous producer doing mostly movie music kind of stuff, and he said there is no need for acoustic treatment. So yeah, I think that's absolutely wrong to say something like that. Yes, you can make music without an acoustically treated room, but it's so much faster, so much easier when your room is treated. It's definitely worth it. I would always advise you to go for better room acoustic than better speakers, because the speakers won't sound good if you're in a room that isn't acoustically treated. And his room in particular is extremely huge. A huge room usually has way better acoustics. Where do you see yourself in 5 years in AXSENS? I don't really know. Like maybe release a week on the AXSENS label. Me maybe touring a little more. That's like the last thing that needs to happen. Maybe 2 or 3 more people helping me to work here in the studio. And yeah, just go from there. I'm really relaxed when it comes to my future. Since I got rid of the management last year, everything is just working out perfectly. Can you explain why 88 key keyboards are recommended for beginners? I mean, this one right here has 88 keys. I don't know why it's recommended for beginners. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for beginner because it's just expensive and heavy and huge. But yeah, you don't have to switch the octaves with buttons, and you have more space and you can play with both hands. But if you're not a piano player, just go with a standard MIDI keyboard. I'd say like, what is it, like 49 is a good size. Just the biggest advantage of this one isn't actually the size, it's that the keys are weighted, so it's way nicer to play. It feels like a real piano. The MIDI keyboards, the other ones, it just feels like plastic. How to get gigs overseas after having a few releases? No, that's not going to happen. No, you need to have a few hits, then you will play overseas. Even me, with some songs reaching like 3 million, 2 million plays on Spotify, there are no gigs happening, just people calling me or writing me and wanting me to play at a festival. That just doesn't happen. You have to have a way bigger song, so that actually the promoter that books you knows that when he books you and pays you, more people show up than you actually cost them. That's kind of how they calculate. And that's not the case with me. So booking overseas, yeah, write a couple of hits. You have to be 18 years old. Yeah, won't hurt. Was it hard to keep believing in yourself, and did you have a time where you thought about giving up on your dream? Yes, constantly. Constantly. Like before I got rid of the management a year ago, every single day. Like every single day. I mean, not like actively thinking about it, but like in the back of my head. And then the discussion with my parents, why not go back to university, study. I'm sure you all know this kind of situation. Just go through with it. If you really believe in it, it will happen. It might just take a lot longer than you might anticipate. And a lot of people give up because they don't have the strength to just stick to it. But if you stick to it and you're smart and efficient with your time and make good music, then definitely there's a room and a chance for you. The last question for today: how do you strike a good balance between adding instrument tracks to get a nice fat mix with a good frequency range coverage and avoiding your mix sounding muddy? Yeah, that's probably by far the hardest at the beginning, like having a full mix but not muddy. So it's all about the right elements in the song. So if you have 5 elements covering the bass, it just will sound like shit. So for every frequency slot, bass, upper bass, mids, chords, the voice, other synthesizers, and the hi-hats on top, and pads and strings, then it will be a whole lot easier. And then it's all about EQing them, making room for each other, having elements louder and quieter. I listen to a lot of mixes where everything has the same loudness, which just sounds horrible. So yeah, it's all about the mixing balance and not having too many elements play at the same time. If you have good ideas, good sounds, there is a lot of time. A song has 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes if it's club music. Make sure you spread it out and tell a story over time with the instruments, and not just creating a 30 seconds loop that you listen over and over again and never actually arrange a song. I think a lot of people get stuck mixing before they arrange, which is a horrible mistake. First create kind of a loop, the core of the song, then arrange it and then mix it, because you need to mix the sections for themselves. Every section sounds different. If you have a part that doesn't have the kick in it, you need to mix every single element differently than in the part where the kick is. And this is true for the entire duration of the track. Every section needs its own mixing. So yeah, that's basically already it. I hope you enjoyed this little Q&A. The next one will follow probably in a week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram to ask me questions. And we'll see us tomorrow again, hopefully after a long night sleeping a whole lot. I need the energy. Tomorrow's Monday again, back here to the studio, continuing with the construction.